Hello and very warm welcome. I am very excited to start R programming and I hope you are too. This is the second course in the Data Science Specialization and it focuses on the nuts and bolts of using R as a programming language. The recommended background for this course is the course The Data Scientist's Toolbox. It is possible to take this class concurrently with that class, but you may have to read ahead in the prerequisite class to get the relevant background for this class. For a complete set of course dependencies in the Data Science Specialization, please see the course dependency chart that has been posted on our blog. I will provide the link down below. So the primary way to interact with me and the other students in this course is through the discussions forums, which in our case are comment section under the lectures, social media and blog post. Here you can start new threads by asking questions or you can respond to other people's questions. If you have a question about any aspect of the course, I strongly suggest that you search through the discussion boards first to see if anyone has already asked that question. If you see something similar to what you want to ask, you should like that question comment to push the notification to get answer to that question quickly, rather than asking your question separately. The more votes a question or comment gets, the more likely it is that I will see it and be able to respond quickly. Of course, if you don't see a question similar to the one you want to ask, then you should definitely start a new thread on the appropriate forum. Finally, consider getting the course textbook R Programming for Data Science, which is available for free. I will upload this book somewhere and the link will be provided in the blog post. The content in the book tracks the material covered in the course and allows you to hang on to the material once the course is finished. So in this course, you will learn how to program in R and how to use R for effective data analysis. You will learn how to install and configure software necessary for a statistical programming environment, discuss generic programming language concepts as they are implemented in a high-level statistical language. This course covers practical issues in statistical computing, which includes programming in R, reading data into R, assessing R packages, writing R functions, debugging and organizing and commenting R code. Topics in statistical data analysis and optimization will provide working examples. The sequence we will follow so that anyone from any background can take this course. We will cover overview of R, R data types and objects, reading and writing data, control structures, functions, scoping rules for R programming, dates and times, loop functions and debugging tools, simulation in R, and finally ending with code profiling. Let alone watching these videos won't help much. There will be a few programming assignments that will be posted for you to practice on blog post for each topic. Plus we will cover few guided assignments and projects during and at the end of the course. In this course you also have the option to use R package Swirl to practice some of the concepts we cover in lectures. While these lessons will give you a valuable practice and you are encouraged to complete them all for better understanding of the core concept that will be covered in this course. So please complete them all. Swirl is the package that is developed by Johns Hopkins University for R programming class. It is called Statistics with Interactive R Learning, or Swirl for short, and it was developed by Nick Carcadi, who was a student then there at the Johns Hopkins Department of Biostatistics. This is a system that allows you to kind of interactively learn R at your own pace, and it will walk you through a bunch of lessons about different aspects of the R language, and you can kind of practice as you go. So rather than kind of watching a lecture and then doing an assignment and kind of doing things piece by piece, you can actually work on R right in the R console in a kind of guided way, rather than kind of just figuring things out on your own. So I think the Swirl modules are really helpful and I encourage you to try to walk through them, and it will be a great learning combining lecture videos and Swirl practice assignments. I think it will be a lot of fun. The Swirl package turns the R console into an interactive learning environment. Using Swirl will also give you the opportunity to be completely immersed in an authentic R programming environment. In this programming assignment, you will have the opportunity to practice some key concepts from this course. So Swirl requires R 3.0.2 or later. If you have an older version of R, please update before going any further. If you are not sure what version of R you have, type r.version.string at the prompt. or you can download the latest version of R from the rproject.org. Optional but highly recommended, install RStudio. You can download the latest version of RStudio at rstudio.com. Since Swell is an R package, you can easily install it by entering a single command from the R console using install.packages function. If you have installed Swell in the past, make sure you have version 2.2.21 or later. You can check this with package version function. As to use the package, you have to load it first. So every time you need to use Swell, you need to first load the package from the R console using library function. Swell offers a variety of interactive courses, but for our purposes, you want the one called R Programming. Type install from Swell R Programming from the R prompt to install this course, just like it is mentioned in the slides. Then type the Swell function from the R console to start Swell. Then follow the minus sign and select the R Programming course when given the option. So this week is all about getting started with R and learning some of the basic details of the language. If you have not already installed R, you should go to the R website and download R for your platform, Windows, Mac or Linux, whatever it is. Also, you should download RStudio, which is a free interactive development environment designed for R. That is very useful and we will use it quite a bit in the data science specialization. I have made some videos to help you along with the installation process, which you can find in the Data Scientist Toolbox course. Before you start using R, one key concept is the working directory. This is the directory or folder on your computer where you will store project files, data and the code. It is important that you tell R where the working directory is that you will be using so that it knows where to find the appropriate files. The working directory can be any directory on your computer. So I wanted to talk about two things: how to set your working directory and how to edit R code files in Windows. So you can see I have got R started up here, and the first thing you are going to do is to figure out what your working directory is, because the working directory is where R finds all of its files for reading and for writing on your computer. So you can find out what your working directory is currently set to be by using get wd function. You can see it's set to be c:/user/hp/desktop/r project demo. This may differ on your computer depending on what version of Windows you are using and what hardware you are using, but there will be some directory probably on your C drive. Now the reason why it's important to know and to set your working directory is because when you read data or when you write things out using functions like read or write CSV, there will be read or written to your working directory. So for example, if I do something like read.csv and I want to read, let's say, my data.csv, if the file is not in my working directory, you will get an error, one that looks much like this, because it cannot find the file in that working directory. So one possibility is that you can, if you know where this file is, you can move it to your working directory, or you can change your working directory to be wherever this file happens to be. So I can go to the session menu and go to set working directory and select choose directory. Now I will go into my documents and here I will select R programming, and now I will select assignment 3 and click on open. So you can see that R has also displayed the command for the same procedure, that is set wd with the path of the directory that we want to set as. So now if I type dir, it will give me all the files in my current directory. You can see that here I have two CSV files. So now I can see read.csv function with hospital data.csv. You can see that the data will be printed to the console because now it can find the file in my working directory. So one thing that I suggest that you do for this course is perhaps create a single directory or single folder where you can put all of your materials for the course and not have to worry about them being scattered all over the place. Anytime you download something from the website or create a new file, it's probably best to store it all in the one folder so that you don't have to be searching all over for it. That way you can always set your working directory to be that directory and not have to worry about changing it. So I'm going to minimize R here for a second. I'm going to create a folder on the desktop called, I'll just call it Data Science. And then I'm going to use this folder for everything that I do in this course. So if I go back to R here, I can say change directory again and go to desktop and select Data Science and open it. Now this folder is on my desktop. So now if I say get wd and see, the working directory has changed to this folder Data Science. So one of the things you are going to have to do a lot of in this class is to write R code. In order to write R code, you will need to be able to use a text editor. Luckily, R comes with a rudimentary text editor, which will be definitely sufficient for this course. So you can load up the text editor by going to the file and saying new script. And this will give you a blank window just like that you can use to write R code. So I'm going to write a simple function here. So I just wrote a simple function here. It is an addition function which takes two numbers and then add them up and store the result in the result variable and then return that number. Alright, so this is a simple function. Now the question is, how do I get this R code into my R console so that I can actually use the function? Because you will notice that I go into the R console here, I type addition, it will output an error that object addition is not found. And if I type ls, you will see that there is nothing in my workspace right now because I haven't loaded any R code into there. So how do I get the R code into the R console? Well, there's two ways. If you just have a little bit of code like this function over here, I can click into my R editor and just hit Ctrl A to select all and then Ctrl C to copy, and then I click back into the R console and I can hit Ctrl V to paste. Now I have just pasted the code into the R and you will see that if I type ls, I have got my function there. I can execute it by just calling it and you will see, and it will give you the sum of any two numbers. The other thing you can do is go into my R editor and then you can go to the file menu. Then you can click on save as and then you can name the file whatever you want and then click on save. This will save the file in your data science folder. And now if I type dir in my console, you can see that add.r is here. .r is conventional for the extension. So that is how you shift between the directories. I hope you enjoy the class and I anticipate a fun time in this course. See you in the next lecture in which we will discuss the history of R.